What's going on, everybody? My name is Marquise, and in today's video, I'm going to be telling you why I use a camera that was made in 2008, the EOS 5D Mark II. So basically, it was made in 2008, and it was released in 2008, and it was used to take the presidential portrait for Barack Obama. So when it came time for me to decide on getting a camera, I decided to get this one, and here are my reasons why. Number one, in 2020, it was inexpensive. So one thing I had to really think about was the amount of money I was going to spend on a professional grade body. So I already had a T3i, a Canon Rebel T3i, and I realized that the problem I had with that was that because it wasn't weather sealed, if I ever got some creative muse that came upon me and I wanted to shoot outside in like the rain per se, I would end up messing the camera up, or I would run the risk of messing it up. And I didn't want to do that, right? So I decided to get another camera. So I got this camera, the Canon 5D Mark II. Now, like I said, it was inexpensive, and I decided that it was a pro body, so I couldn't really mess it up unless I was just really bad to it, like I dropped it constantly, something like that. And if I decided after using it for 6 months to a year, I really didn't want to do photography as a thing, it was $500. I can write that off. Not so much in taxes, but in my mind of saying it was inexpensive, so cool, I could probably sell it, maybe make $300 back, who knows? But that would be way better than getting a camera, trying to do photography, realizing that I wasn't good at it, nor that I wanted to do it, and being stuck with a $2,500 camera that I could probably only get $1,000 back for. That just didn't seem to match up with me. So reason number one, it was inexpensive. Reason number two, whenever I learn anything, I like to learn the fundamentals. It's seeing as how this camera doesn't have all the fancy bells and whistles of the latest cameras, like eye detection, head detection. It's just a camera. Right? The same as it didn't have any of that, I knew I was going to have to really step my game up, so to speak, in order to use it properly. I was going to have to pay attention. I was going to have to look at the autofocus and learn how to use autofocus. I even have a lens that doesn't have autofocus, so I was going to have to learn how that works. So I felt like that was a better idea. So tip for anybody, whenever you're learning something, learn how to use the basics, how to do the fundamentals, because in that way, whenever you do upgrade or you get a new camera, there's no problem. It's like, oh, I can do this now. Oh, this is really cool. And it makes shooting easier, as opposed to it being the only way you know how to shoot or do graphic design or do web design. No matter what camera you give me, as long as it's digital, I'll be fine because I've learned how to shoot. Number three, it's the Canon. Now, I'm not a Canon fanboy, but because I already had a Canon camera, I already had a couple full-frame lenses already, well, one full-frame lens already, it made sense to me to stick with Canon. Because like I said, I knew that if I didn't want to do this 6 months from now, I can buy some inexpensive Canon stuff and keep it pushing, and I wouldn't feel like I spent all my money for nothing. So I bought the Canon stuff, I used that, and so far so good. I have a 50mm that's from Canon, I have a 35mm from another company, I have a 85mm from another company, and they all work really well with that camera. I didn't have to go look for super expensive stuff. I think I paid $150 for the 85mm, and because it's a manual focus, I didn't have a problem. I didn't have to worry too much about it, and that's why it was so cheap. But because it was a Canon and I already knew how Canon works and how Canon does things, I mean, even the menu system is really easy to use, as opposed to something like Sony, whose menus are notorious for being super complicated. It's super in-depth. Like Canon, this camera was from a 2008. The Canon that I'm shooting on now, the Canon T7i that I record video on, it's from like 2017 or something like that. Same thing. The only difference is this newer camera, the newer camera I can use the touchscreen. That's it. That's the only difference as far as the menu system goes. Oh, and it's a little more detailed because it does a little more, but it's not convoluted. I can just go in and get to the same stuff and be done. Reason number 4, it's only 20 megapixels. So now, one thing that I'm a big proponent of is once you figure out the type of camera you want and the type of style you want to shoot in for photography, I suggest that you just stick to that type of thing, right? So I decided I wanted to do portraits and I wanted to do events. I decided I wanted to do portraits and I wanted to do events. What I didn't want to do was make ginormous prints, right? And for making prints, you need 32 and 40 something megapixels. I didn't want to do all of that. All I wanted to do was take portraits of people and I wanted to shoot their events. That's it. I want to give people memories. I didn't want to give people memories that they had to put up on their wall. And so I decided that 20 megapixels was fine enough. Actually, 24 would have been perfect, but 20 is what we had, so you make it work. And so that's another reason why I picked this camera. It was only 20 megapixels. I knew if I got bored with portraits and events, which I didn't, I love doing both, I couldn't go up anywhere else. I was gonna have to really learn how to get good at this. So I felt like, oh, I was bad at this. Get better, kid. That's it. Reason number 5, it's a workhorse. So like I said, it's a pro body. It was used to take pictures of Barack Obama. Not my particular camera, but the model. It was used to take the presidential portrait of Barack Obama. And so I realized that it was a workhorse. People use it constantly, right? People used it constantly to take pictures, to do all the dope stuff that they wanted to do with it. And so I realized that even if I got it used, and I got it mounted, it had like 1,000 pictures on it, 1,000 shutter presses, that's what it had. It was still gonna hold up good for what I needed to do. And I felt like if I got good enough, I could get rid of it, upgrade, get a bigger camera, more megapixels, yada, 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 the whole 9. But COVID happened, so I decided not to buy another one. But I did get good enough with it. I'm pretty decent with it. I could take really good pictures with it. But that's my reason number 5. It's a workhorse. I can take it anywhere with me. I took it to New Jersey to shoot my aunt's 50th birthday party. I shot events with it. I shot portraits with it, and it does really, really well. So, yeah, those are my 5 reasons. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got something out of it. And see you next time. Peace.